Welcome to Finding Out a New World in English. Hello, everyone. Today, we're looking at a very common, but sometimes tricky, part of English grammar, the adjective clause. You might also hear your teachers call these relative clauses. If you want to add rich, specific details to your sentences and sound more natural, this lesson is for you. What is an adjective clause? Let's break it down. Just like a single adjective describes a noun, like a blue car or a happy dog, an adjective clause does the exact same job, it just uses more words. Because it is a clause, it must contain a subject and a verb. And because it is a dependent clause, it cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Its only job is to attach itself to a noun and give us more information about it. So, how do you spot an adjective clause in a sentence? They are actually very easy to find because they almost always begin with a special connecting word called a relative pronoun. These pronouns act like glue. They connect the adjective clause directly to the noun it is describing. But here is where the rules get a little tricky. You have to choose the correct pronoun depending on the noun you are talking about. Let's look at the rules for choosing the right relative pronoun. 1. Who and whom used for people. The teacher who helped me is very nice. Describes the person, the teacher. 2. Which used for things. The laptop which I bought yesterday is already broken. Describes the thing, the laptop. 3. That used for both people and things. The poem that you wrote is fantastic, or the boy that sits next to me is funny. 4. Who's used to show possession, ownership. The girl whose dog ran away is crying. Describes the girl who owns the dog. Now that we know the rules, let's see these clauses in action. The easiest way to understand an adjective clause is to compare it directly to a regular adjective. Watch how a single descriptive word can expand into a full clause while still doing the exact job of describing the noun. Let's start with a simple sentence describing a person. Adjective, I saw a happy girl. The adjective happy describes the girl. Adjective clause, I saw a girl who was happy. The entire clause who was happy does the exact same thing. Now let's look at how we can describe an object like food. Adjective, she made a delectable dessert. Adjective clause, the dessert that she made was delectable. Here, the clause, that she made, describes exactly which dessert we are talking about. We can also use which to give extra detail about an object. Adjective, I got a unique ancient table. Adjective clause, the ancient table which I got is unique. The clause which I got describes the table. Did you know you can also use where to describe a place? Watch this. Adjective, Julia is visiting the museum to see a Van Gogh painting. Adjective clause, Julia is visiting the museum where a Van Gogh painting is being shown. The clause, where a Van Gogh painting is being shown, acts as a giant adjective describing the museum. Before continuing, please subscribe. If this information is useful, share this video with a friend who needs it, and don't forget to leave a like. Here is how we use whose to show ownership. Adjective, Anna used to take amazing pictures with her old camera. Adjective clause, Anna, whose camera broke down, used to take amazing pictures. Clause, whose camera broke down, describes Anna by giving us extra information about her property. Finally, we can use when to describe a specific moment in time. Adjective, Kate and Margarita will never forget their first time in Rome. Adjective clause, Kate and Margarita will never forget the time when they were in Rome for the first time. The clause, when they were in Rome for the first time, perfectly describes the time. We use whom for people, but only when the person is the object of the clause, meaning they are receiving the action, not doing the action.